Welcome to Here's How We Get There. It's the daily show filled with conversations about business and mental health in a down-to-earth style with real-world language. Now let's dive in with your co-hosts, Kenneth Shark-Kinney and Trey Tucker.
All right, Trey, we recently had some excitement on the Senate floor, and the question of the day is it okay for a U.S. senator to get in a fight on the Senate floor? This almost turned true when the Senate almost turned into the octagon recently, as Oklahoma Senator Mullin invited a Teamsters boss who had been tweeting bad things to him. He's the head of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters president, Sean O'Brien. So Sean O'Brien was saying a bunch of bad things about Senator Mullin online and social media, and he basically challenged him during this as they were talking, and Senator Mullin was sitting back and doing the line of questionings, and he asked him, he said, we're basically, I'm paraphrasing, we're grown men, would you like to fight now? So it came to a pretty funny, if you ever get to see the video, he says something like, well, why don't you stand your butt up? Well, why don't you stand your butt up? I mean, it was pretty silly children's stuff. And then the senator stood up and challenged him to a fight, and it looked like something could break out. What most people don't know, though, is that Senator Mullin, if you're not from that part of the country, was a former MMA fighter, and he's also in the Oklahoma Collegiate Wrestling Hall of Fame. And for those that don't know, no offense to Maine or Oregon, college wrestling in states like that fail immensely in comparison to states like Iowa, Oklahoma, your Midwest states where collegiate wrestling is a mighty big deal. Not that there's not some great wrestlers there, but I'm just saying this is somebody where Senator Mullin probably would have won that fight very quickly if it had turned into something. However, the real question is that decor appropriate?
Absolutely not. And they claim that they're both grown men.
You stand your butt up right now and we'll fight this. No, just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, in that exchange, they both claim they're grown men. I'm saying they're not. They're 12-year-olds in adult bodies. And this is more proof that age is really just an indication of chronologically how long you've been on the earth. It has nothing to say about your maturity level. And these two guys are just, oh my gosh. So let's start with the Teamsters guy. He was trying to use words to get under the senator's skin and to get a reaction out of him, which is a classically adolescent thing to try to do.
It worked.
It worked. And I'm going to get to that, but that's the tactic, using words that are personal and attacking and off the topic. That immediately gives away that your actual case doesn't have any legs to stand on, that the case you're trying to present and win, it's a losing case. You're just going to try to go personal. So that's one adolescent behavior. And then, of course, the senator taking the bait and letting those words get him dragged into it. That's a whole nother example of just total immaturity here. So yeah, be actual men, grown men who are wise, who have some thoughts in their head and have some patience and are able to control their emotions and harness them, not just puff out their chest and see who's the toughest one in the room as if you're cavemen. So no, this is a terrible thing. This is awful role modeling on both of their sides. And I wish they could both somehow go into some training with some real men who could show them how to conduct actual civil discourse where you can still disagree while getting along.
I fought in just a few fights in MMA, and I'm sitting there laughing the whole time. I'm a huge MMA fanatic, and I know that he fought, he either had like a 3-0 record or 5-0. I can't remember. He would easily win that fight. This is a strong guy, but that's not the point of it. This is one of the most exclusive clubs in the world. This is where we nominate only 100 people to represent us, and they carry on some of the most important decisions. Quit getting involved in petty little fights. This is the part where people lose trust as well in their leaders. We already know he could win the fight. Why cause one? This is about fighting with your words and with thoughts, and try to lead the hearts and minds of people who rely on you to get the business of the country done, not to act like a bunch of adolescent children. And if I see Senator Mullin come up to me and say anything about it, I'm going to tell him, Trey said that point, and that if he wants to fight, he can stand his butt up.
Thank you for joining Shark and Trey on the Here's How We Get There show. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show, and visit here'showwegetthere.com. That's here'showwegetthere.com.